Alright, y'all, I'm out here doing some more fence now, trying to get these moo-moos and goats something more to eat. Starting to turn off, really hot and dry now. We're having temperatures in the upper 80s, getting ready to be in the 90s, so things is not really growing back all that fast at the moment. So trying to get some more fenced in. It's a lot of time and work to do, but we are blessed. The first, if you can see from here, well, you can't see my other gate, but somewhere in the back of there where it drops down is my first lot, and that's still pretty much on my land. This here is father-in-law's land, so we're really blessed that he's letting us fence it in and everything, and you know, the rest of the field here is his, so we can fence however much of it we want to. Eventually I might run some fence in the woods, because they can really eat a lot of leaves, and the goats and the cows. Alright, so one more thing on that. The goats and the cows can't eat cherry trees, the leaves off of them. They are poisonous to cows and goats. I'm not sure about sheep, but cows and goats they are. So I'll have to, if I do fence the woods, I'll kind of have to go in and eyeball and see if there's any cherry trees, and I'll just cut them out and get rid of them before we let them in there. Alright, so the topic of this video actually is the side-by-side. So, as you know, the side-by-side is pretty helpful on, there we go. Anyway, the side-by-side is pretty helpful on a farm and homestead type of situation. If you have any bit of land, it might be beneficial to you. They are expensive, no doubt. We got that one used. It's a 2013, but still paid a good amount of money for it, but it's in good shape and new. You're looking at anywhere, well, for those particular ones, I haven't priced all of them, but that's a Polaris Ranger 1000, so I think a new one is somewhere about $17,000–$18,000 around here. Bone stock, no features, no doors, and yada yada. So when I was growing up, I lived, you know, we had a small farm. We had more cows than I've got. You know, we had I think about 20 or so at the house, and then another farm had about 40, and we used a four-wheeler a lot, doing different things with them and everything like that. Side-by-sides, I don't remember if they were out or not, but I think the first ones to make an actual side-by-side was Kawasaki when they made the Mule. John Deere came out with some Gators probably back in the 80s. I had some relatives that had one. I loved that thing as a kid. It was had a dump bed on it. It was just two-wheel drive. They make nicer ones now and everything, but they used that on the farm a lot. They had probably 50 acres or so and cows and stuff. So anyway, point I'm trying to make is practical. We paid about the same thing for that side-by-side as I paid for my truck, which is not terribly expensive. It's a 2002 Chevrolet 1500 HD. It's a little bit more than a regular 1500 because heavy duty it's got the 2500 running gear, the 6.0 motor and transmission, and the heavy duty rear ends under it, and the towing package and all that stuff. So, but four-wheelers are helpful. I think side-by-side is the way to go if you didn't have one and you're looking to get one. We really enjoyed it riding with the family and stuff because it's easier to have kids on than it is on a four-wheeler, and you know, you got actual seats and seat belts and stuff like that, so that's something to consider. It's four-wheel drive, it has a little dump bed on it, all that stuff. But as y'all have seen through some of my videos, and I use that thing a lot here on the farm, you know, you can put feed in it and whatever, bringing out here to the cows. I use it a lot with the fence stuff. I was putting too much of a load on it, pulling that trailer around with everything on it, because it really ain't no telling how much weight was on that thing. But I got fence posts in the back of it now, the driver. I've got my weed kill in there in the 15-gallon tank that runs off electricity. I got the jump box hooked to it, but you can hook straight to the battery, so you can do a lot of spraying at one time. We've moved heater wood with it. It's really good for that. It'll handle a lot of weight, to be honest with you. We've used it out here on the pasture, pulling the aerator. When we did that and spread the lime, I spread the lime with the tractor. But you can get pull behind fertilizer spreaders, so you can do fertilizer and lime and things, and you can pull a drag behind it, you know, where you bust up dirt clods and cow patties, stuff like that. I got a winch that I welded onto a hitch so I can use it on the truck, side by side, whatever, that I use a lot. I'll just hook that to a jump box. And when I was doing my last fence video, I used that. I had to cut a tree out of a top, and no, I didn't use a winch on that, but I used a side-by-side, hooking a chain to it and pulling it down where it was safer to get down than just, you know, solely cutting it down with a chainsaw. I used it pulling the walls in place. I used the winch and the side-by-side pulling the walls in place when I built my smokehouse. It's just a ton of different uses you can do for it. And like I said, you can also get a lot of family enjoyment out of it, you know, riding around wherever you ride. If you got enough land, or you load it up and go to one of the trail parks or something like that. We used to ride it a lot when we first got it, 2 or 3 years ago. Really before we started getting into so much homesteading, when we had more free time. You know, we'd ride it a whole lot in the evenings, and, you know, things like that, go down to the river and everything, which we'll probably do more of that this year. But anyway, the basis is they're pretty practical, they're pretty useful, and also from a preparedness standpoint, like I said, maybe if you're solely in an urban setting, you know, concrete and asphalt, it may or may not benefit you. But, you know, suburban and rural things like that, you can also use it for a bug-out vehicle if you had to. You can get a lot of stuff in the back in that bed. It doesn't burn a lot of gas, so your gas storage will go further. You can put, you know, 2 5-gallon cans in the back, and I mean, you can pretty much go forever. They don't burn a lot of gas. They're good for accidents, maybe, if you want to say that. If you have somebody get hurt out in the woods, you know, somewhere that an ambulance really can't get to, you can either take the first responders, you know, to that victim, or you can load them up in there, you know, in the back of the bed there. And, you know, it may not be the most pleasant ride, but you can bring them out where they can get some help, you know. and maybe a true collapse, maybe there's Civil War 2.0 or something like that, they're going to be handy to get around on. They're going to be handy to deliver supplies. There's just a lot of uses. So if you hadn't considered one, you may not end up getting one, but just giving you something to think about. So I'll try to look back and see if I have some video clips of different things we've done with it. Because honestly, when I make a video, I usually put all the clips together and then delete a lot of the videos and clips and stuff like that. Once I upload it to YouTube, most of the time I go ahead and delete it because it really doesn't have much more of a purpose for it. So anyway, just giving you something to think about maybe. I'm gonna get back to work. So stay prayed up, prepped up, and strapped up. See you.